Welcome to another edition of Creators Outlet, brought to you by our friends over at the Inked marketing team. If you need that extra push for a Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign, go see Kevin at Inked Marketing. And now we'd like to welcome our special guest, Brent Peeples.
Hey, what's happening?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was just taking a look at the project here.
We're getting there. We're getting close.
Yep. 11 days, and you're pretty close, like 2250 away.
Yeah, I can't math, but pretty close, something like that.
Yeah, I can't math either. Math is hard.
2209. 2209. So yeah, we're getting pretty close.
Well, I just shared that. I shared out the links for this on Twitter in about 7 groups, plus the feed for the show, and it is. I also work for Outright Geekery, so your Kickstarter is up on the Outright Geekery page as of about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, great.
So
well, that'll help.
Hopefully, we'll get some traction there. So, tell us what spurned on this book.
This is a book. It's a project that I've been sitting on for about 2 years. So I had come up with the idea. I don't know, just kind of out of nowhere. I'm a big fan of Calvin and Hobbes, and I'm a big fan of Supernatural, and I was just kind of wondering what would happen if you put them both together. Mm-hmm. So the project takes influences from both, but not. I don't want to go too far one direction. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or too far in any direction. I don't want it to seem, that's kind of the tagline, but I don't want it to seem like you're reading one or the other too much, or even both too much. But that's it. It just popped in my head. I don't know. It was a couple of years ago, and I started thinking about it, and I dropped the idea from across some friends in the industry that I thought would, give me some feedback on if they thought it was a decent idea or not. And I got some good feedback on it. So I sat down and wrote it, and it's just kind of been sitting on my desktop for a couple of years. Work for hire stuff took precedence. Mm-hmm. Sorry, my email keeps popping off, and I don't know how to turn the notifications off right now. So yeah, if you hear a ding, it's my
yeah, it's fine.
It's texture, right? That's what we call texture.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I wrote the script, and then work for hire stuff kind of took precedence, and then the world blew up last year.
Yeah.
And, I took a little bit of break from comics anyway, which was kind of nice for about 3 or 4 months, kind of contemplating what I wanted to do, if this is what I still wanted to do, if it was, and then I did some more stuff last year. Did some stuff for Dynamite again. I hadn't worked with them in a while, and so did a handful of issues for them, and then a few covers or so, and then I dropped in and did some storyboard work for a little bit. And this year happened, and things are still kind of weird in the industry, and I figured if while everything's still picking up, I mean, this is probably the best time for me to try to do this book.
Oh yeah, indie projects are just blowing up. There's more people than ever that just cruise, indie comic pages online and like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and are just buying books there because they're sick of the same old, same story after story after story. How many times can Batman and Catwoman have a romance, and right. break up, and she turns heel, and the Flash changes the timeline, and DC can't remember what continuity is, and all kinds of stuff like that,
Oh, I get it, and I know people, are wanting something that's fresh, and I think this will be a fun ride. I haven't done a creator-owned project since 2011, and even then, I was considered a co-creator, but the writer that was working with Josh Fialkov, I mean, it was his baby, so I helped with design and things like that a little bit, but outside of that, I mean, it was we did the whole co-creator 50-50 thing, but it was still his baby. So I wanted to do something that was mine and that I own, and it's the first thing that I'm writing and drawing both. It's the first thing I've ever written, really. But I think as a first time out the gate writing, I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far. Definitely going to have a lot of room to grow and keep getting better with that skill set. But I think it's like anything. I mean, I've been drawing comics for 10 years, almost 11 years. And, I'm still growing in that every time I turn out a new piece. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a good book.
Are you looking to get this as like a one-shot, graphic novel type deal, or are you looking at doing a series?
I like to do. I mean, right now I could run this thing 6 issues for the first arc, and get it out as a collection, trade or graphic novel, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the goal is to at least kickstart. I'd like to kickstart the first 2 or 3, if not the entire series. But if it gets, noticed and gets picked up somewhere, then great. But I'd like to, however it happens, I'd like to run at least the first 6 issues, and leave it where I could move on and keep going if I wanted to. But it could also, be a standalone if it need be. I don't know. I'm just trying to let it develop naturally and not put too much, not to put too many rules on it. So if it goes 6 issues, great. If it goes, 24 issues, awesome. If it was wonderful and went 100 issues, cool. I don't think, look at something like Supernatural. I don't think they ever meant for it to go 15 seasons, but it did. And they kept doing it as long as the fans wanted it. I mean, I can't say that that's going to happen with this project. I would be happy to get the first 6 out. If I got the first 6 out and did something with it, was able to, collect it and maybe distribute it globally or nationally through, maybe a book publisher, if I could get a deal that way, sell it somehow once it's already done. Option it for, if I could option it for a Netflix or a Prime or a Hulu or something, that'd be cool too. Who knows? I just kind of would just more than anything, just want to get the project out.
Yeah, it just blows me away that show went on for 15 seasons.
Hey, I love that show. I just finished it. Because it's on Netflix, and I just finished it, and they about had me in tears. They did everything they could. I was holding them back.
Oh yeah, I still wanted Dean's car.
Oh yeah, I love that car
because that car was just badass.
Yeah, it's a great automobile.
I got like a limited edition collector's kind of like Hot Wheels version of it.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere I'm like, so we're gonna just let the monkey run where he may, and hopefully this thing goes for the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I would like for it to. Again, it's and the whole purpose of this book is to give something that younger readers can read, that they can enjoy, along with adults, that doesn't have too much adult innuendo in it or too much language or, this book, I'm not going to write a single cuss word in there. I'm not going to write explicits with hashtags and asterisk marks and You know, there might be a DreamWorks style over the head moment joke, you know, but nothing. There's not going to be. I want it to be outside of some violence and gore, which I really debated on how violent I wanted the book to be, and it's not going to be super crazy violent. But there's going to be a little bit of violence and gore. I think with the premise of monsters and the premise of demons and heaven and hell and angels and you know, whatever else kind of crazy shit I kind of decide to throw in there. I mean, I think you kind of have to have it, but I think you can do it without the other stuff. You know, I would like for my 13-year-old or my 14-year-old to sit down and be able to read it and not have to worry about, you know, well, this word says this, or, you know, here's a cuss word here, or, oh, that's a boob joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think so many of our books now, because it's the generation that grew up reading everything. We're all now in our 40s, 50s, 60s, even some older than 70s. And so now the material is more geared towards us. It's not geared towards kids anymore. And, you know, I don't read a whole lot of young reader stuff. But, you know, I picked up a couple of young reader things for my daughter, my middle daughter, about a couple of years ago. But it was, you know, it's something that was recommended, but it felt too young to her. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that there's not something out there, and I'm not saying that I'm the first one to go out there and do this. It's just what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I understand it. I have my daughter's about to be turning 13 in a couple of months, so.
Yeah, and somebody hit the nail on the head. I did one of these earlier today, and you know, she said, yeah, it's for that. You know, it would be good for. It sounds like it would be good for that teenager that's kind of in between in that awkward phase of reading, where, you know, the kid stuff is a little bit too much kid, but the adult stuff is a little bit too much adult. So they can get something that feels more grown up without feeling like they're reading a kid book.
Yeah.
You know, so, but I also very much want it to be enjoyable for, you know, our age demographic and older. I don't want it to feel like a kid book to them either. So hopefully I'll do a good job. You know, I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm not trying to take the storyline too seriously. I'm trying to have as much fun with it as possible. But it is about a boy that, you know, he's 13 years old and he's essentially lived with who he considers his aunt for his entire life. And he, as far as he knows, his mom just kind of abandoned him when he was a baby and never turned around to look back. And, you know, so on his 13th birthday, he wakes up and there's a present from his mom sitting on the counter downstairs, and it's a stuffed monkey. So he's pissed that, you know, he gets a present from this lady he doesn't know, that he doesn't care about. And he's pissed because he feels like he's got a child's toy from this lady that he doesn't know and doesn't care about. You know, as you go on, you find, you know, he finds out very quickly in the story that there's some bad elements after him. I mean, they're in the preview pages. I mean, he gets chased by some demon guys, and you know, through the course of the book, you know, he's got this stuffed monkey with him, and it's you know, that's kind of the Calvin and Hobbes aspect of it, is this thing is a golem, so it turns into something else. You see in the 5th page of the preview that, you know, or the fourth page, the monkey's eyes turn red, and then the next page is a splash page, and there's blood and a severed arm and an eyeball, and but, you know, this kid finds out that he's kind of the shift between good and evil, and so now he's on this adventure to figure out why he is and who his parents are. And so, you know, but I want him to, as much as I want to have fun with the book and kind of do some crazy things or whatever, I also want to kind of jump into a little bit of that, you know, abandonment issue and and what the hell did they make me into, and then just drop me off on a doorstep,
Yeah. Now is it going to be like all basically black, white, and red?
Yep. I'm going to do everything, and I'm going to do everything in gray tones with splashes of red when it's needed.
Cool.
I don't know. It's just something I want to do for now. And thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that. Ryan just posted. It's something that, I want to wash it out. I mean, part of it's cost. I mean, as a Kickstarter, it's going to cost me money to get this thing colored. Mm-hmm. And I only built in enough to essentially pay myself to be able to work on this without going broke. So, enough I'm not, I'm essentially paying bills. So I'm paying myself probably a little bit less than my page rate to get this thing done. The rest of it goes towards shipping and printing and, the rewards as far as printing out, when I do prints for this thing and all that kind of stuff. And then of course I'll pay a letterer to letter it, which will be done at the end. Once the entire book's done, I'll go back and re-script, take some things out, add some stuff, whatever. Make sure all the dialogue fits the way I want, make sure I don't want to change anything. Because I'm also, again, I'm letting this be kind of natural. So as I draw this book, even though the first issue is written, and I'm still changing some things here and there. If I think it would read better, or it'll be, essentially this scene initially was going to take place in a park, and there was going to be arms and limbs hanging from trees once he was going to get knocked out. And I thought this was a better way to tell the story. So it's going to happen organically, I think, even though it's all plotted, it's going the same way. If a scene needs to change up, it's going to change up a little bit.
There's always tweaking that you're going to do as you progress on the project,
Well, and that's something I get to do since I'm writing it. It's not like I've gotten the script from a writer, and when I get a script from a writer, I may change a panel here or drop a panel or add a panel, but there's nothing, I'm not changing the story, or I'm not changing major elements or, scene location and things like that. I can do that with this. So, and the goal is to make the best book that I can make. So anyway, but yeah, once it's done, once it's drawn and finished completely, which the deadline at this point with this thing looking like it's going to fund, the deadline is going to be May or the end of April. So that way it's off to the printers and shipping out by June, like I've stated, So yeah, I'm going to hire a letterer, but if this thing gets done and we do all 6 issues, then, I'll do a collection, and I may color the collection. But I think for the issues, I want to run them like this, have a nice, cool color cover. And if we do a variant cover, that'll be in color maybe. But do all the pages black and gray with some red pops to it. And then, we can look at coloring the collection if we get to that. Maybe kickstart the collection and get it colored and all that kind of good shit. Do a hardcover or something. Cool. So, and I'm a big fan of the artist editions anyway, where you don't see the color, where you can see the bones of the pages.
Oh yeah.
And so I think it's cool. I think people kind of, you can see more about what's, you can see more of the art this way. Even though coloring really can add to it, you still lose for an artist, you lose some of the, once they take out the effects, you go, oh, that's how he did that.
Yeah, there's been a big surge in people grabbing up the Marvel Essentials and the DC Showcase editions.
Yeah,
because they're redoing. Both companies are like redoing all the art and like reissuing those books. So you're losing all of the like original line art in inks from great people from the past. So I mean, I bought like a ton of them when they first came out, because they were cheap, and then I bought like a nice fat stack of them on sale for like $5 from some store I had gone to about a year ago, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing those books because they're becoming scarce. People are getting $25 to $40 a pop for them online because a lot of artists want to study the actual line work and see what's going on. So I mean, this is a great way to get a good character study in too.
Well, yeah, I mean that's that's what I really like about this stuff is that you're really seeing the work. I'm kind of, I mean, at this point with it like it is, I mean, I'm kind of, I'm letting my work speak for itself. And I really got to make sure that I do the best I can because I don't have a color to go in there and fix anything. There's been plenty of times where I've been like, oh, I'll let the colors handle this. I'll let the colors handle this. Here's a note, but I mean, they've done a lot of these things recently, and I love looking at them. But when I go to conventions too, if I get a minute, remember those things, conventions we used to get to go to?
Yeah, I miss those.
When I get it in the morning before the show, or if I could get a break from my tables for something, I'd go over and just stare at pages and just, find my guys that I really, really enjoy and just look at their stuff. I mean, I own originals just because I can just sit there and stare at them and just, okay, how did he handle this lines and how did he handle this effect? And it's all, from everybody. Oh, so yeah. A lot of this too is just because I like shit like this. So that's part of it too. And then the other aspect of it is just cost.
Yeah, this looks great though. I mean,
well, thanks. Well, it's giving me a chance to play too. I mean, I get to do a thing and I'm getting to do stuff. I get to experiment, I get to experiment with wash. I get to experiment with pops of color and, it's kind of, it's more of a challenge and it just feels, I get to kind of play around. So.
Yeah, I love the panel where the two guys transform into the demons.
Yeah, that was kind of, I took that kind of idea from, what was that Pacino movie, Devil's Advocate?
Oh, yeah.
He would do that. He would be, Charlize would be looking at somebody and their face would switch and then switch back. You know what I mean? And I guess they've probably done that in other movies too, but that's what pops into my head. So yeah, I did the stat panel. So you see, and in the next panel, they look like normal guys again.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see that he's, this boy is seeing flashes of what they really are versus, what they seem to be.
Yeah, and that panel with just like the close up of a terrified eye from the kid. Yeah.
So.
I like what I'm seeing though. I like black and white though.
Yeah, I do too.
So you can support this, without a reward. You can help the project along by clicking the pledge without a reward tier for $10. $3 or more, you get a thank you in the book. $5 or more, you can get the digital PDF. That might be a good option for people that are overseas that might be interested in this book. So they're not paying $37.50 for shipping over to the UK or whatever it is now. I know it's going crazy over here, and it's going even it's even worse over there.
Yeah, I had some people ask me about shipping too. They said and I may have goofed up, and maybe I should have just built it into the price of the book, but to say $35 for the book plus, just seemed kind of exuberant to me. So I put in the $15 shipping, and that's pretty standard until you get to some higher levels where I'm shipping actual like original art. But $15 shipping in the States. I mean, when I ship a single piece commission in the States, it costs me almost $9, and that's before you take into account that I got to package it.
Yeah.
So it's roughly about $15 to ship. So I think I don't even know what I put. Maybe it might be $50 for shipping overseas, 50 or $60 for overseas, just because of packaging costs. Because I don't want them to get anything that's damaged. That would suck.
Yeah. I know just mailing something to Canada is like, $20-25.
Yeah. So if it's going to cost, $35 to get overseas, and then I need to package it well. So yeah, the shipping is expensive, but it just kind of is what it is these days.
Some people
I'm not
are
trying to gouge anybody though. I'm not trying to gouge on shipping. I promise. It really is just the basic cost of shipping something.
Yeah, because you gotta include the price of all your shipping materials, and Gemini mailers aren't cheap, and then you include everything else that you use in there. And if you're mailing prints too, it's like even more.
Yeah. Like I said, a single print, the way I package it in between two boards and a clear bag, and in the mailer thing that I've got, the non-bendable mailers. Yeah, I mean it's like $10 just to ship it. Maybe $9 just to ship it. So yeah, if I'm going to be putting a book in there, got to make sure that doesn't get damaged, and then prints or any original art, anything like that, it's all got to make sure that it doesn't get screwed up. So I'm hoping we got 11 days. So if this thing could be fun, that would be great. And by the time this thing was shipping, because anybody that gets a PDF, I mean, once the book is done, they're going to get the PDF first. So essentially anyone who pledges for the PDF or higher, the what is it, the $5 or $10, whatever it is, or higher, you're going to get a PDF. Okay, so $5 is the PDF. So anybody that essentially anybody that's $5 or more gets a PDF. So the PDF will already be out to anybody who's already pledged before they actually get the hard copy. So once that's done, I can start planning and running the next Kickstarter where everything's printing and shipping out. You know what I mean? So that way we're keeping on schedule for issues 1 and 2. And if I can just kind of stay on that pace, we should. And hopefully the plan is, this one gets funded, we do this one, and then we move on to the next one, and that one snowballs. And that's kind of what I've seen from other Kickstarters, that it snowballs. You hit your goal on your first one, the next one, makes maybe about a quarter more, at least hits its goal pretty quick, and then makes, maybe 25% more or whatever, and you can just kind of keep rolling with it.
Yeah, it builds on top of it all the time, and then you get people that will come in like on a second or third issue of a series, and need to pledge that catch-up tier so they can read the story from the beginning. Right.
So that's kind of the goal. Of course, if somebody gets hit with most people are doing $35. I'm assuming that $35 is pretty manageable for most people. So if they did that, every other month to pledge for something, I'm sure but I don't want anybody that pledges, somebody pledged the 500, I'm looking at this thing. We got one left on the $500 tier, right? I think. Yeah. So there's one left. So one backer already pledged $500. So, they may not have $500 the next time if I do it right back to back. So I got to give a little bit of a spacer out.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to make sure that I have, the second issue where I want it to be. So, if the thing comes out, if I'm finished in April, we go through May, come June, this stuff's, coming back from the printers and it's shipping out, but everybody's already got their PDFs. They've read it. We can start the Kickstarter in June. That's done by, the end of June, come August, and work it that way. I think that, it's kind of my plan. If everything goes as well as I hope it does.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I cut my finger. I was opening a package to do a commission the other day, and I had the scissors wide open when I was doing it, and I sliced my middle finger right on my drawing hand. So now it's healing, but it's like this little piece of skin that's bothering me.
Keeps coming back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So $20 is the pledge plus the $15 shipping.
Yeah, and that's for the signed copy. I mean, I saw some people, do the copy, and then if you wanted it signed, it was different. But I figured, $20 for the signed copy. That's about average, I think. I mean, most days now when you go to a convention and you buy a book signed anyway, it's about average. Probably, for the next Kickstarter, if you want, the first 2 issues, it'll be, let's say 35 instead of 40, or 30 instead of 40, something like that.
Yeah.
What would be killer too is, and I've already got a couple people on the hook. If I can, if we get there, if this thing funds, then I've got a couple, 1 or 2 people in the industry right off the bat that we could do a variant cover for, as a stretch goal. That would be cool, or that might have to wait until the next issue. Who knows? But I've got some, things lined out like that. I mean, I've even got, there's even a retailer level on here. So, retailers can go in and they get so many books for, I don't remember what it is, but they, essentially I broke it down where they get so many books for cost. Plus a drawing for the store, and then had to build in a little bit extra for shipping just because I'm shipping more at that point.
Yeah, it's a bulk shipment. So $20 gets you the book plus, of course, shipping. $50 or more gets you, of course, the signed book. Plus, it'll get you an 11x17 signed art print. Which is the art from the cover of the book. Did you get tired of trying to, pick out the names?
Yeah.
For the different tiers?
I was trying to come up with as many monkey puns as I could. That's why, as I got to the bottom, the retailer one was, put in after the fact, but I got to the bottom. I was like, are you tired of puns yet? Like, I was just trying to come up with something that was creative. But I think what was more taxing was going in. It felt like I was typing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. Anytime I have to do a page layout like this, and a lot of it is the same over and over, I figure out what's going to be the same, and I type it into docs. And
copy and paste.
I'm like, I ain't got time for this stuff.
I thought about doing that, but then I was like, it's going to take me just as long to put it in docs and do it. So I just typed it. Make myself do the work. Make myself not be lazy for once.
$100 or more. Let's start monkeying around. You get everything previously said, plus you can also get a 9x12 black and white head sketch of any character you pick. No custom or original characters, please. This protects both parties. So a 9x12 sketch plus the signed book, the signed print, and a piece of original art.
Yeah, but I had to make sure I put the, people want you to draw their
own characters, and then
that gets a little tricky. I mean, if somebody's doing a piece, they come to if they order a commission from home, it to me it's kind of I'll make sure that I tell them it's based. It kind of depends on what the design is. But one, you don't know, you don't know the type of, I don't want somebody to order that and go, well, I want my own character drawn, and then it's either something that's inappropriate that I just won't draw, or it's a design that is just outlandish and crazy as hell to draw, which is going to take me forever. Or I want to protect myself from any other future character designs that somebody comes across and says, hey, well, you drew my commission for me of my character 2 years ago, and now this character looks like this, and he's publishing a book. So
yeah,
it just, to me, it's smart business practice.
Easy. Anytime I get a commission, it's always a Joker.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too, is like, give me somebody established that I know what I'm doing. I don't care. There's 18 different versions of the Joker. Pick one of those. If you want the Joker, that's fine. Let's do a different version.
Yep. I've got
instead or something.
I've got 8 commissions of the Joker so far.
Yeah, I've got a brother of mine that loves the Joker. So I did a Batman Who Laughs piece for him, and then he wants me to do another one. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I mean, he loves them all too, and that's the thing, is he loves them all, from the books all the way through all the ones in the movies. He loves any incarnation of the Joker.
Yeah, I'll throw it up it'll be small up in the corner there, but there's my airbrushed leather jacket.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, a friend of mine who lives out in Arizona now did that probably like a good 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's rad.
And
I've got a paint on jacket here soon. One of the commissions somebody just ordered. They wanted me to do a paint on the back of a denim jacket, and I was like, "Well, we'll give it a shot. So we don't screw it up."
Yeah, a lot of that's usually just all like airbrush work.
Yeah, I'm gonna use fabric paint on it. It's it'll be a pretty flat looking. It's gonna be more designy than it is, super detailed, but it should be cool. It's gonna be a Godzilla thing. It'll be pretty rad, I think.
Oh, cool. Oh, here's the retailer tier. Retail level comes with 10 signed books, a print of the cover, as well as a black and white torso sketch for the store, or whoever you all decide to let have it. Well, that would be a good giveaway promotion for a store, pushing the book.
Yeah.
$200 or more, you're really chimping in.
Get it? See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw. I'm like, all your levels are like dad jokes. It's funny.
Well, I do have 3 daughters.
Oh, bless you.
When a dad joke becomes a dad joke, right? When it becomes a parent.
Oh boy. Man, I have one daughter, and I'm like, beside myself.
I've got 3, my man. I've got a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Oh.
And
that's every time, somebody asks me, goes, "You have any kids?" I go, "Yeah, I have a daughter. She's going to be 13. He goes, "Oh, dude, I'm sorry."
Mm-hmm.
I go, "No, it's okay. Because she's split between her mother and me. So,
well, I've got the other 2. I mean, they're old enough; they come and go kind of as they please. They live with their mom for the most part, but they come and go as they please. But I've got full time on the other one, so my little one.
Cool. Yeah, I had my daughter up until 2016 when I landed in a coma.
Well, that'll
that kind of like put a monkey wrench in all the plans. But $200 or more, you get everything, as well as an 11 by 14 black and white inked torso sketch of any character. Delivery time is estimate depending on the amount of time it takes you to do the work, of course. And the tired of silly puns yet. Oh yeah, this is the one you talked about before, the $500 tier. So you have 2 splash pages, which means there's 1 splash page left available. So the $500 tier, you get everything named above, plus you get an original page out of the book.
Yeah, there's actually a built-in 3 splash pages in this book. One of them is actually the next tier, I believe. Yeah, the 750 tier. It's a big reveal shot of it's very apparent that the monkey is a golem and turns into something. So it's a big reveal shot of that, which is now one of our main characters. So that one's that. But yeah, I've got 2 other splash pages that they're going to be pretty fun pieces to own, I would think. So figured I'd throw those out there as tiers.
And $1,500. Cover your bum, you big baboon. Cover art. So giving away the original cover art.
Mm-hmm.
Plus all the other stuff that we've gone through already.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the covers painted. Yeah, I'll grab it. Yeah, it's all. That's it.
Oh, nice.
11 by 17, and it's all painted and mixed media, and so it was legit. I had fun with it.
That's a nice piece. Yeah, I have an original page on the way to me from Rich Parada.
Oh yeah.
He did his first. He just wrapped up his first Kickstarter. He's living over in the UK now, so he's shipping from the UK here. And it was funny because we were a couple of indie podcasts we're helping him push the book, and we conned him into, hey, if you make it to 3,000, you got to shave your head live on a live feed. And he had COVID head, so his hair was so thick that the clippers couldn't cut it. So his wife came in with scissors and just trimmed, cut it all down until it was short enough so the clippers could be used on it.
How funny!
But he was nice enough to give us all a page, and I got he's doing it a hardcover edition, a softcover edition. So I've got a page of art, sign print. I've got a hardcover coming, and a softcover. So when he goes to launch part 2, I'm going to give away the print and the softcover edition on the podcast for that.
Nice.
So, I mean, this looks great. I mean, the painting for the cover is pretty rad, man.
Yeah, it was fun. It just kind of came to me too. It was just, and again, on that one, I just kind of had an idea what I wanted to do, and I just kind of played with it, Again, just kind of let things happen organically. So, I wasn't beyond taking that thing and ripping it up and starting over if I had to, but luckily I got it on one shot.
Yeah, just letting it flow. And
yeah, so far the most painstaking aspect of this has not been the writing, it's not been the drawing, it's not even been the promoting and begging people to pledge. It was scanning those damn pages, because I'm using 500 series Strathmore board, but some of those pages got just a little warped from the water. And I had to go back and rescan 2 or 3 of them because I just couldn't get them to scan right until I finally got them flat enough to flatten out enough to scan.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, some of the inking gets in the way of certain scanners.
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to buy, my scanner was 6 years old anyway, so I wanted to just go ahead and buy a new scanner.
Yeah, I've got one. I haven't even set my scanner up because I just got what I like to refer to as my collection. All my stuff. It's been in storage at a very good friend's house because being in the hospital, I was in rehab for a couple of years until I could walk a little bit, and I got a power wheelchair now, so that's fine for me because I'm lazy. But,
so how long?
I went in the coma in February, and I came out the end of April
Of last year?
2016.
Oh, 2016.
That I was in the hospital for about 2.5 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I couldn't move anything from the waist down for like almost a year.
And you were in coma for how long, you said?
Almost 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, they would tell my friends and family, yeah, you might want to prepare because it doesn't look like he's coming out.
So was it health related or accident?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, health related. I had cellulitis, sepsis, and acute fasciitis.
Oh, holy shit.
Yeah. Every doctor I saw after the fact, for all my other treatments and surgeries after I came out, they're like, yeah, you shouldn't be here. I go, well, I don't want to be here. He goes, no, I mean, you should be dead. I go, oh, well, thank you very much.
Wow. It's nuts.
But I just got all my stuff back. It filled a 22-foot long trailer. So I'm going through boxes with action figures from, the 70s on up, and
wow.
About 150 boxes of comics. And
you have all this stuff in your house right now?
Yeah. I got a 2,400 square foot loft.
Well, that'll do it. Holy crap.
There's a few of them. They were like, 5 foot high. It was 5 foot high from that corner all the way up to behind me. But I've been going through them to see what is where. And I just opened up a long box and I grabbed like a bag, like literally like this wide, that was in there that I bought from a store. And I never took anything out of the bag. And when they were packing my stuff up when I was in the coma, they just put the whole bag in the back end of a long box.
Oh, wow.
So I got to go through and see what's in there. I just found the first appearance of Scott Lang and 2 copies of the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. So I'm like, I go, well, time to put those up.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, those got to be worth something, man. Right? Spider-Gwen especially, yeah.
The Scott Lang high end is like 65 on it. So that was probably, yeah, it's gone up because of, him being a big part of the MCU now.
Yeah.
The Spider-Gwens are over like $600.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, yay, 1,200. I'll take it.
Yeah. Don't put out your address. You don't need anybody showing up, know where you live with all that stuff.
No, they wouldn't want to come in anyhow.
They gotta find it first. You gotta go through and find everything.
Yeah, one they gotta find it first, and 2, let's just say I'm a proponent of the Second Amendment.
Yeah, you're packing, are you?
Well, I'm crippled, so I can't get up and like throw fists with somebody without falling down on the ground.
I don't want to get into any kind of debates about guns, and everybody's got their opinions, and they're all welcome to them. But you never know. You don't know that feeling of your house being broken into. My house got broken into several years ago, and that that feeling of invasion of privacy and your domicile is one of the scariest, most offsetting feelings ever.
Yeah, I had an apartment that I was living in probably about 20 years ago, got broken in, and then another one about 15 years ago got broken in. I had a couple of nice signed jerseys, in frames mounted up on the wall.
Yeah.
I lost all that, all my stereo equipment, all my DJ equipment.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, I say several years ago. I guess it's been almost 20 years now. I think it's probably been 18 years since it happened. But I was in my early 20s. I didn't have any money, so they got maybe a Nintendo 64 or Xbox or whatever it was back then, and a stereo and a TV. They didn't get a whole shit ton, but it is it's definitely not a good feeling. It was hard to sleep for a while after that. It's
still I got to get out of this place and move someplace else.
Yeah,
kind of feeling. Yeah, I did that both times. I'm like, man, somebody just broke into my apartment that I rent from you. So I'm breaking my lease, and I don't care what you say. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Here's next month's rent, and I'll be out before the end of this month. So,
right.
But we have the Kickstarter up in the chat. It's also in the show notes, either up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us. And if you're listening to this on ageradio.org, you can always come to Creators Outlet on YouTube and take a sneak peek at anything we're looking at. And you will also have the Kickstarter link in the link for that downloadable audio. So till next time, we'll see you later. Brent, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Book looks awesome, and I really hope this gets fun and people jump on this, because I really like it. It looks cool, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Let's hope it gets funded. Y'all go